Live from the Caterpillar Global Communications Center at Bradley University, this is BUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to BUTV News. I'm Delaney Giles.
And I'm Mia Massaro. Let's take a look at the news. Last week, one of the presidents of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority held a fashion show event in the spirit of women empowerment. Kiara Beyer has more in the story.
It's getting late in the evening at the Michael Student Center's ballroom, and Toriana Hawley, the president of the Zeta Phi chapter, is hosting one of her first events of this semester.
I want everybody to feel encouraged and entertained by what we do. And so, community is what makes, the campus just shine. And so I'm here to just gather everyone and have some good food.
As a sorority, one of their key values is uplifting their community and other Bradley students as well, especially with their women peers.
As a sorority full of women, we make sure to empower women. We want to appreciate women. And so what better than to have an event where we're socializing and having a fashion show.
It seems like a small few decided to dress up fancy for the night. However, there weren't really any requirements of what you needed to wear.
That was a plus, and everyone just kind of let loose, be themselves, and they didn't even come with an outfit. Whatever they had on is what we wanted to see. We just wanted to see confidence and just community within the event.
While everyone was a little shy at first, eventually everyone got a chance to show off their style and dance moves.
First place winner went to Ricky and Alexis. They came as a duo, and then the second place was surprisingly named Michael, and he did a Michael Jackson interpretation.
For more information, you can email Holly at tholly@mail.bradley.edu or visit their Instagram page under ZetaPhi_Poodles, as well as the Bradley University MPHC under bu.nphc. For BUTV News, I'm Kiara Beyer.
As we are 6 weeks away from the end of the semester, the Williams Dining Hall renovation and addition is still in the early stages of construction. BUTV's Adalia Young spoke with Bradley's Director of Facilities to get an update on the project.
Hey everybody, I'm here at the Williams Dining construction site where we are checking out the new facility that's going to be up this fall. Let's check it out. Bradley University was awarded the Illinois Board of Higher Education grant to upgrade Olin Hall and Williams Dining Hall. Jeremy Mishler, Director of Facilities, gives us an update on the site's construction. He says the dining hall will be unique for its individualized stations.
So you'll have the pizza stations, there'll be a large salad bar behind me in that area, dessert stations over there, there'll be a breakfast bar, beverage stations throughout, and then this area right through here, and then back through that direction is all going to be made to eat.
Mishler says all of the student meals will be customized and fresh. He says the new setup will help improve the student experience and set itself apart from Geyser Dining Hall.
So this will be typical cafeterias here in the smaller area, private dining, and then if you go back out and around the corner in what's going to be the new construction area, that is going to be more of a, what I call traditional restaurant style seating. You'll have booths, you'll have some tables, but you'll be able to have a little more intimate settings as opposed to having a large group converge in one area. So I'd say that's going to be the main difference, is that it's going to seem like more of a private dining experience as opposed to just larger eating spaces.
Not only will the dining experience improve, but students will have more spaces to work on homework and host club meetings.
It's going to have TVs set up, a lot of different booths, there'll be couches, the coffee shop is in there, so it's just kind of a neat vibe for people to be able to meet.
In the lounge, there will be drop-down screens and accessible outlets to help create more spaces for students to interact with one another. Mishler says the dining hall is still in the initial construction phase. While it seems as if the process has been slow, they are still on track to open at the beginning of the fall semester.
Once we're past these stages, they'll be starting to do the steel structure on the outside, so then you'll be able to see how big the structure is going to be attached to Williams. And then once we can start controlling that building envelope and sealing it in, they'll be doing all the drywall, the equipment, kitchen equipment, the furniture, stuff like that. But we're still in the kind of the rough-in preliminary stages for this project up until when the steel structure starts going in.
A grand opening will be set for later on this fall when it is finally open. This is Adalia for BUTV News.
After the break, Rachel has your weekly weather forecast.
And Scarlett tells us about an upcoming Bradley play you should definitely check out.
most hiring algorithms would screen me out.
Some bosses couldn't see me as a leader.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
I've been running code as long as I've been able to reach a keyboard.
This is what I do. It's second nature for me, coordinating 100 details at once.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
I sold them on my skills.
You gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
My magic is
analytics and empathy. That's how I'm getting clients. You have to have the confidence in yourself to show up and defy the odds.
I'm more than who I am on paper.
I never got a college degree. And today, I'm the CEO of my own company. People want to tell me I'm one in a million, when actually I'm one of millions. Stars are all around us. It's time for them to shine.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You didn't turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutVaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
I don't know about you two, but the weather, I'm not a fan of it. Today's weather was not my favorite.
No, I was trying to get some breakfast this morning, but I was just not brave enough to walk through that rain.
Yeah, I do not blame you. I was home today, and I had to drive through it, and I felt like a true storm chaser, you know, with the lightning going on 55, and that was a little scary. But we're here. We're all good now, you know. We're going to be seeing this weather for, you know, the next couple of days. So why don't we just look at the campus for today and see what the weather is up to right now. As you guys know, it was raining, chance of hail. Thankfully, no hail, but that's okay because, you know, the parking garages were open. Grounds are wet. That's expected, you know, when it rains, obviously. So let's take a look at our maps for today. As you can see, we are sitting at 73 degrees right now, and we see a beautiful cell forming right here. Yes, lots of reds. We're seeing it more down south with tornado watches and warnings in Missouri. So if you know people down there, check on them, make sure they're okay. Now let's take a look at our temp map. As you know, it's a little warmer. We're seeing more oranges and reds, which I'm excited about because it's not cold anymore. But unfortunately, we are going to be seeing a lot more rain with the change of weather. So heads up with that. Now we're going to take a look at our 5-day forecast for coming up later this week. As you can see, there is going to be rain all the way from Friday to Saturday, mostly in the afternoons. There's a high chance, about 80 to 90% chance per day. And we're seeing a drastic jump down into the 50s as we move on into the weekend. So make sure you're dressing appropriately and enjoy this beautiful weekend in the sunshine when you can, because we're not going to have a lot of it. So now on to entertainment.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Kicking things off in entertainment, we've got big news for Beatles fans. The legendary English rock band is getting not 1, but 4 feature-length biopics. Director Sam Mendes is helming the Beatles a 4-film cinematic event, with all 4 movies set for a back-to-back release in April 2028. Each film will explore the band's story from a different member's perspective, and the lead cast has just been revealed. If the Beatles weren't big enough on their own, these names are sure to draw in an audience. Harris Dickinson is John Lennon, Paul Mescal is Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan is Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn is George Harrison. 4 films, 4 icons, and 1 story. Here's hoping they get it right. We might get to experience Beatlemania all over again. Now, I don't know about you, but I've had Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine album on repeat since it dropped over a year ago. Turns out there were even brighter days ahead, literally. On Friday, Grande released Eternal Sunshine Deluxe, Brighter Days Ahead, adding 6 new tracks and an accompanying short film to the mix. The deluxe edition features an extended version of Intro, End of the World, along with fresh tracks like Twilight Zone, Warm, Dandelion, Past Life, and Hampstead, which add nuance to the emotional themes of the original album. So take a listen and see what you think for yourself. Chances are you'll recognize some of the songs, as they're already making waves on social media. Bringing us back to Bradley, if you're looking for some on-campus entertainment next week, Bradley University Theater has you covered with their production of John Proctor is the Villain. This acclaimed play follows an 11th grade English class studying the Crucible, but as they unpack Arthur Miller's classic tale of the Salem witch trials, they find themselves confronting love and scandal in their rural Georgia town. Catch the show at the Hartman Center for the Performing Arts from Wednesday, April 9th to Saturday, April 12th at 7:30 p.m. or at the 2 p.m. matinee on Sunday. Tickets are available at the box office or online at bradley.edu/theater.
As a huge theater fan, I am so excited to see this show. I know it's going to be great.
It sounds like a good one. I've never seen that play before.
No, I'm excited. I also got to teach the Crucible to my students last semester, and I'm super excited to see what Bradley does with this. I'm excited.
They always put on a great show.
They do.
Yeah. When we come back, an interview with a Bradley student body presidential candidate.
And major updates about the old Avantis on the corner of University and Main.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. That I know what you're going through. I know things aren't easy, but you still show up. I wonder if you know that we can get help. That we don't have to go through this alone. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
With the arrival of Bradley University's newest president, the student community on campus also has their own. The student body president gives a voice for all students to be heard and create change here on campus.
Here to talk with us today is Frank Flores, an engineering major running to become your future student body president.
Hey everybody, just like you guys said, Bradley University has just welcomed President Shadid to become their newest president, but students are also waiting for their own. I'm here with Al and Frank to talk about why they're running for student body president this year. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Just as an interest for our viewers, what made you guys want to run for student body president? Al, we'll start with you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, I've always been a part of the community, not just here at Bradley University, but in Peoria, Illinois. And, you know, I've always been in public service for the past 10 plus years, ever since I was young here in Peoria. So with my community connections and with my ability to connect and be collaborative with all the people on campus, especially with all the different types of majors, really representing all different types of individuals, that's what made me want to run for student body president.
Yeah, so as you know, I am a tour guide, and I see a sense of hope in these new students that come in, and it's the same hope that I had when I came in Bradley University. So I feel that I have not only have the maturity, but I also have the analytical ability to do this, and I also have some great plans for Bradley. I believe in Bradley, and I feel like I'm the best that can represent the student body.
So speaking of plans, as you both know, you both are also first years. You're in transfer, and Frank, you were a freshman. So the year previous to that, before you guys' arrival, there were a lot of things going on in campus. You know, we have a new dining hall coming in, we have a new president. So there's a lot of things on students' minds that are changing the campus environment. So just as a quick summary, what are some things you guys want to change here on campus or are advocating for?
Along with all the other things you just mentioned, like the new dining hall coming up, I think just changing the perspective of what students think Student Senate is, really changing the stigmas of what student government is as a whole for university students is going to be big. Really focusing on the individualism, the actual student experience, the quality of life here at Bradley will not just help elevate students as a whole and also their education, but help them change the perspective of what they can do beyond college.
Exactly. So what I'm focusing on is transparency, meaning that the students are more informed of what's going on, because I feel like that was the issue with previous years as I've done my research. From the administrative level, faculty level, it was just like a little confusing what was going on. Also, I want to have a new dining approach. So what that means is that if there's like a vegan pizza and no one's really like, it's not that popular, maybe they should take it off the menu.
Totally. So as you guys were saying, we're talking about plans, we're talking about communication, and you brought up Student Senate. So, there's a lot of disconnect between students not knowing what's happening with Student Senate outside of, their supply drops. What are some ways you guys want to bring them into being a part of the student government as the student body president that represents everybody?
100%. Really carrying on not just what the previous administration has been doing, but what me as a senator has been doing with not just myself, but also with the ticket that I'm running with. It's not just me running for office here for SBO, but a full board. I'm running with a full board, and we've been correlating a bunch of different skills and a bunch of different aspects that correlate to our formalized open door policy for all students. So really communicating with the students, bridging the gap, not just during my campaign, but even before then, even before I even considered running for president. Expanding on that and expanding the open door policy.
Yeah, okay.
So as you notice, transparency is a big part of my campaign that I'm running for. But with transparency, it also goes with Student Senate. So a lot of people don't know what's going on in Student Senate, so I believe that we should we take notes at Student Senate of what all the constituents do, SBOs, and that's really important. But that's only known in Student Senate, so I believe that we should have weekly reports given out to the students of the public, so they could get to know what's going on, so they could have that passion and be like, hey, I can change something.
Yeah, for sure. And just really quickly before we let you guys go here, I know you guys have super busy lives. Where can they find you? Are there flyers around, social media pages, websites where they can find some information about your campaign?
Yeah, funny because there's this flyer literally right behind us. Scan the QR code. It'll lead you not just to who I am and my bio, but also a bunch of different links that lead you to my Instagram, a survey. Please fill out that survey about what you want to see on campus, because I'm here to represent the student body, not myself. Really focusing on what you want on campus, what you're inspired by on campus, and what your desires are. Really also focusing on what you guys want, also based off of building off of what I've built here, not just at Bradley, but in Peoria.
Yeah, you can find my posters anywhere. I'm around everywhere. I'm highly active in my community. I like to say I live in the Beck, so you can find me in the Beck. I'm in Olin. I'm in Bradley Hall, the art building. You can find me anywhere. Ask me questions, so anything like that, I'll be happy to answer.
Yeah. Well, as your current president, I want to wish you both the best of luck.
Thank
and
you,
to two future presidents that, could just succeed me in my position, you guys are going to do great and your campaign is going well. And for our viewers really quickly, so for our students, next Monday, campaigning will stop at 11:59 for our campaigns. So you will find out some more information. They have their resources available. However, next Tuesday is when the polls will open up at 8 a.m. They will close on Wednesday. So just check your emails for that. But this is Adalia Young for BUTV News. Back to the studio.
Ever wonder what's going to happen to the old Avantis on the corner of University and Main Street? Well, Bradley University is finally moving forward with their plans for it. The current plan is to replace the building with a native garden and a natural area, with the intent for it to serve as a gateway to Bradley's campus and serving as a beautification effort for the surrounding area. Several designs are still being considered, which include shade trees, native prairie plants, perennials, and more. A design should be being finalized within the upcoming weeks. After the break, Harvey gives us a lot of new basketball information.
And what's happening right now in the Bradley baseball world.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Okay guys, so yesterday was April Fool's Day, obviously. I don't know if you guys saw what men's basketball did, but they posted these Kaboom jerseys. And honestly, I was a little bit disappointed because I thought that they were real. They got me. Okay, I'll admit they got me. And I was really excited. I was like, oh, these jerseys are so cool. And then it was not real.
Well, what the funny thing was, then they made a post later about them saying, due to backlash, we won't be using them anymore. So it's almost like a double April Fool's.
Exactly.
What's happening.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy for the Kaboom world, but let's go back to real athletes and real people. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BUTV Sports Transfer Portal Edition. I'm Harvey Newcomb. Let's get right into it. The transfer portal has officially opened for both men's and women's basketball, with some activity already taking place. On the men's side, fifth-year player Gonar Biliu has entered the portal to gain an extra guaranteed year of eligibility that he would not have gotten if he stayed at Bradley. Biliu played limited minutes in his 3 seasons at Bradley, but 2 more prominent building blocks entered the portal for the Braves in senior Christian Davis and sophomore Almar Atlason. Davis started every game for the Braves this past season with career highs in points, field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. He's asking the NCAA to grant him an extra year of eligibility, but David Minion from the Peoria Journal-Star predicts that the chance of this happening is a long shot. Atlason entered the portal in the hopes of regaining his starting role at another school that he lost this past season at Bradley after starting the majority of games in 2023-2024. And while not in the transfer portal, another departure Bradley fans will surely miss is that of Duke Dean. The fifth-year player was denied an extra year of eligibility, meaning that this past season playing for Bradley will be his last. It's not all bad news for Duke, though. However, just earlier today, Dean signed a pro contract to play for the Freeport Skyliners in Germany's basketball Bundesliga. Guten Tag, Duke. Bradley basketball coach Brian Wardle also posted a picture to his account on X, indicating that other key contributors, including Demarion Birch, Jaquan Johnson, Ahmet Jonovic, and Corey Thomas, had been signed to NIL deals to stay at Bradley for the following season. For women's basketball, many were worried that the transfer portal would shake out similar to last year, in which they lost 7 active players to the portal. However, as of today, just 1 player has officially entered the portal. That's 6-foot freshman Miriam Kulabai, played limited minutes for Bradley this past season, and she looks to continue her development elsewhere. Real quick as well, baseball was swept in their 3-game home series against Southern Illinois, which included a 25-11 loss against the Salukis. They're also defeated by Iowa at home yesterday as they look to get back on track with a 3-game series at Murray State. Softball went 2-1 in their 3-game series at Northern Iowa this past week, and even in a 1-0 loss against Illinois State, looked promising as the matchup between the two the week before was a 6-3 loss. They're at home against Valparaiso for a 3-game series this weekend, followed by a doubleheader against Southern Illinois Edwardsville just a few days later. And tennis, track and field, and golf all saw both individual and team successes this past week. That's it for sports.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, I feel like the worst part of college athletics is seeing the guys or the girls move on after they graduate and not be at their school anymore.
Right. Especially, I mean, the team, even if Bradley basketball, both men's and women's, they'll still be good. It hurts seeing those players go. It feels like the heart and soul almost.
Exactly. Well, up next, a look at some upcoming events on campus.
And a very special performance from the gigantic Cantaloupes.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. that I know what you're going through. I know things aren't easy, but you still show up. I wonder if you know that we can get help. That we don't have to go through this alone. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Let's take a look at some upcoming campus events. Head over to Olin Quad at 11 a.m. tomorrow, April 3rd, for the 10th Annual Day of Giving. There will be food, games, prizes, and thank you cards you can sign a note of appreciation in. Join the Muslim Student Association Thursday, April 3rd from 6 to 9:30 p.m. for an Eid dinner. Eid is a holiday celebrated by Muslims twice a year, one of them being after Ramadan. There will be pizza, fries, wings, and ice cream for dessert. The Colum Davis Library is hosting an ice cream social next Wednesday in honor of National Library Week. Several varieties of ice cream, popsicles, and toppings will be available outside the front of the library. Be sure to stop by for something sweet.
So there's tons of exciting stuff happening on campus in the next few days, so make sure to go check that out. I know we probably all will.
Yes,
Oh,
we
yes. But that's it for BUTV News this week. I'm Delaney Giles.
I'm Harvey Newcomb.
I'm Scarlett Binder.
I'm Rachel Hobbs.
And I'm Mia Massaro. We leave you tonight with a performance from the Gigantic Cantaloupes. Have a great night.
Smoking, I wanna lose a couple days. Probably never should have coping, but I always want to promise again that I would call her. Forget the time, cause I'm 7 hours behind. It's probably good I didn't call though, but I never want to. And I beg you, cause you know I'm never home. And I love you, but I need another year alone. And I try to ignore every time you phone, but I'll never come close. I don't think you never get time.